Hello, gamers. It is Mew, as usual. Um, at the beginning of April, specifically April 2nd, was the 7th year anniversary of Kingdoms. Hooray! I had a little event. It ended up being a lot smaller than I wanted it to be. I should have expected that. I always set myself up for disappointment when I do events, so that's on me. Hooray. Hooray for me for being stupid. Anyways, Kingdoms is my one project that I kind of keep cryptically mentioning, but I don't. I have talked about it at some point for a little bit. But, anyways, what the fuck is happening? So, you may know that originally my publishing date was planned to be April 2024. It has been a year since April 2024, so obviously I didn't hit that date. When I first chose that date, I had not written in a long time, and that was like 2 years, which that seemed attainable to me when I first chose it. For reference, I first began working on Kingdoms, like, in a writing capacity, like, as in, like, I'm actually writing this, and not in a I'm thinking about it way, I was working on it November 2021, and I actually began writing in January 2022, and I thought that was plenty of time, but oh boy, I was so wrong. 2 years is not enough time for me. Sorry. I heard car noises, and it was kind of freaking me out, because I'm like, who the fuck is at my house? I'm home alone right now, so, anyways. 2 years is not enough for me. You may know that I use critique surge. you may know that I use Critique Circle religiously to collect critiques on my work. And for many years, I had a free account, and I submitted my stories on there once a week. Submitting the second draft of Kingdoms in Full took me like 7 months approximately, so that definitely contributes to the amount of time it takes. And I do have premium now, so I'm gonna use the private queues so that I can speed this process up in the future, but it's still gonna take a bit of time regardless, There's still work that I have to do on my end. So how is progress? This is actually slightly outdated now. This was what working on editing book 1 felt like. I honestly, I got kind of burnt out, so I had to stop for a month, and I'm working on it again. And I'm not even really editing, it's more like reading and noting. Anyway, for Kingdoms the Fall, which is the current working title, I still plan on changing it if I can think of something better, but not the Kingdoms part, I mean the Fall, because the Fall sounds kind of stupid. Currently, I am reading through a third draft. There is 39 total chapters, and probably gonna be more. And last time I checked, the total word count was 172,823 words. And it might get higher, it might get lower. I'm not actually sure anymore. But I'm gonna perfect this draft as much as I can. Maybe if I edit this enough, maybe I'll just be like, you know what? Fuck it. I like this draft. I'm gonna post it. But if not, I will post it again onto Critique Circle so they can read it again. But I'm hoping the fourth draft is gonna, after posting the fourth draft and having people critique it, I hope that's gonna be the final. I I really hope. I hope if I finish the fifth draft, I hope that's gonna be it, I learned so much working on book 1, but I'm gonna be really happy when it's gonna be finally finished. But as I said, learned a lot working, editing, writing book 1, so with book 2, now that I know my process and the things I like to do better, it's been a bit more smooth sailing. It says I finished the first draft like a month ago, but it's probably more like 2 at this point. There's some people reading it now on Critique Circle. It's almost done, so... But I'm going to finish book 1 and note the arcs to make, or that I'm making. So, yeah. I'm probably not going to edit this very much, if at all, until book 1 is done and over with. Because, stuff I gotta keep in mind for book 1 that has to carry over, Plot consistency. So what about book 3? I've been poking at my summaries for book 3 slightly, but I have a lot to reconsider. And I also don't feel comfortable even just writing much out until book 1 is out. So any news I get on it or any news I have to share for book 3 is going to be really sparse until I finish book 1. I have been thinking about it though, but I'm trying to just think of things that I have to change and adjust. Now with everything I've learned with book 1. And don't even get me started about book 4. Side note, yes, there might be a book 4. It might be a Main Kingdoms novel, or it might just be a Tales of Ayazuma story, which is basically, it's not really out or anything, but it's basically just a collection of short stories or related tales of kingdoms, but not enough to be a main novel or anything. So I'm not sure about book 4. I also ended up making this chart to be wait, there's a lot of stories that are related to kingdoms, so I want to make a chart to display that. So this is the kingdoms verse. I don't have a really amazing name for it, but these are the prequel, or actually no, let's start with the main books. There will definitely be 3 main books. This will be all you have to read to understand. I will tell you everything that is necessary to understand the stuff that happens in book 3. But if you want more, there's more, as you can tell. So there's the Kingdoms 4 book, possible book 4. I still don't know if it will actually be book 4 or if it'll be more like a Tales of Ayazuma story, which like I said is just not things that I don't think are good enough to be novel length, or I don't want to be novel length. Shorter stuff. Although the two stories that I've tried to plot out for Tales of Ayazuma are so long that they're probably not going to be a short story at all. They'll be a novella, and if not, they might just be the same length as a Main Kingdoms book. But yeah, maybe it'll be actually book 4. Maybe it'll just be Tales of Ayazuma. Here are the various other Tales of Ayazuma, which, I haven't read them, I haven't posted them or anything, but I am, redoing and reconsidering, the Etsy, which, actually, no, I'm gonna not talk about that. Not yet. But, there's the Etsy Witch, The Show Must Go Wrong, and more. Those are all prequels. And then there's the even farther prequels, the Heaven and Hell companion novels / prequels, Dia and Lily and A Blinding Light. There's the stories that are set in between book 1 and book 2. There's stories set in Ayazuma, which that's where Hybrid High falls in, which is my recent pilot that just came out. And I had so much fun working on it, and you guys should watch it if you haven't already. And then there's my Space Comics Cosmic Representations. That's where Taichi's story falls in. And then the main story is, set between this. If anything, Taichi's story would technically fall into, it is it's a prequel and side story to Cosmic Representations, but, on this chart, it would probably be, somewhere here, timeline-wise. But anyways, after book 3 comes an Amon short story, this one, and then there's the Sin and Virtues companion novels, which, don't ask me about those. I'm not going to let myself do anything for those until after book 3, because, the way book 3 turns out will directly affect how these books are written and stuff. And then this is set after book 3. This is basically just my excuse to lore dump. So, But yeah, I made so this is just to show like all the kingdoms and kingdoms adjacent projects. So some are very directly linked, but some's not so much, especially cosmic representations, not that much. So let's do a lightning round. Let's do a status of all the kingdoms adjacent projects. So Dia and Lily, I plotted long ago, like so long ago, I don't even remember when. And just for fun, about a year ago, I started writing it. I have a lot of things to work out, and it's going to be a very long, complex book. And it might even be two, actually, depending on how long it ends up being. But I don't want to let myself work on it too much until the main Kingdoms novels are done, because, you know, it's a prequel. I don't think anyone would like to read the prequel that doesn't even necessarily factor into the main 3 books, you know. A Blinding Light, I plotted and wrote out some of the story about a year ago when I worked on it for Nano No Remo / 50k No No. That's kind of the alternate name I came up if you want to do Nano No Remo, but you don't really want to be associated with the name or the organization. But like Dee and Lily, it's going to be a very long and complex book, so I'm not going to focus on it for a while. Might become 2 novels depending on the length, and I think I will probably not be working on it for any future NaNoWriMo, 50k No No, whatever. I'm gonna wait. I don't really want to think about Dee and Lily and A Blinding Light too much. I'll still let myself think about it, though. I came up with some really great ideas, I think anyway, for both of these stories just by thinking, so, you know, I'll think, but I won't do too much working. The Hybrid High status update is inactive. It came out April 18th, and now that it is out, I will be toying with ideas. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be toying with ideas and explore some stuff, but I won't do active work, as in, like, write main scripts, storyboard, the actual stuff that will happen again. And this is another thing that I don't want to... This is something that I'd like to do after I finish the main kingdom stuff, you know? So, you know. So, Cosmic Representations, the main story. I'm still writing, have not drawn. I will draw it after Taichi's story. Although I have been thinking, reconsidering some stuff because it's the current plan was that it would be a 20-chapter comic, but the script is like 7 pages long just for the first 6 and part of chapter 7 alone. So now I'm pondering if I should either cut things down or maybe do not a comic. I don't know, because Cosmic Representations originally was like, this is the comic story I'm doing. So, I don't know. Anyway, Taichi's story, it has been finished writing for a long time. I'm still drawing it out. I'm not super far in it. I'm going to work on this regularly eventually, but it's more sporadic. I would like to do like daily work on this, but I mostly just do work on it every Wednesday. It's actually updating again on Wednesdays, so that's cool. Amon's history writings. I haven't worked on this in a while, but probably will work on it once the main Kingdoms novels are finished. And if I have literally nothing else to work on, I might also work on this. Because, like, you know, it's the lore dumping. So having the lore all in one place would be a pretty good idea. So I should probably just move all the lore I have in my Discord server onto that document instead. So Tales of Izuma, it's a collection of short stories that I have. There's a few I've written and need to rework. One of the ones, Etsy Witch, I recently revised it. And I'm going to put it onto Critique Circle. I have like 4 main, I guess like it's more like 6 or 7. Yeah, I recently edited the Etsy Witch, and I'm gonna put it onto Critique Circle for like someone to tell me if they liked it and stuff, or if, like if I need to edit it more or whatever. The show Must Go Wrong. It was a very short story of a longer story. So, the problem with that is that I need to write more. I need to write the beginning more. There's 2 others that aren't mentioned here, but I forget the titles. Oh, I remember one. Crowns and Correspondences. That one I need to. I did read through it and make notes of edits I want to make, but I haven't made them. And then there's the last of like this 4 stories. The title is so long, so I'm just gonna call it Heartstorm for now. I'm starting to make edits again for it, and I'm probably gonna be posting it onto Critique Circle. Maybe, question mark? We'll see, though. I don't know if I'll finish it in time I don't know what I'm talking about. And then there's 2 other Tales of Izuma that don't really have official names. One is Yami's story, and one is Kiyoshi's story. Basically just going through the lives of, just going through their lives, basically. I wrote the entire plots for each of them, kinda. And I started writing them, like, a little bit, but I stopped because I lost interest, so lately I've just been hopping projects, because, like, Kingdoms, I'm in reading mode, but still want to get in writing all the time, so, Anyway, that's all the various Tales of Izuma. Those are those statuses. Amon goes to Nephthys. I guess it could technically fall under Tales of Izuma, but Amon isn't actually from Izuma, so I might have to come up with a different name or something for that. Because he's not from Izuma. He's from Nephthys. But this might be a novella, probably, because it will probably be kind of complex. I've only plotted it, but I haven't actually written it. And again, I'm gonna finish the main kingdom stuff before I go to this, okay? So, A Tale of Virtues, it's only vaguely thought out. Like, it's really, really vague. All I know is it'll have something to do with the virtues. I have to actually come up with an actual plot idea. I don't know when I'll actually work on this, but again, after book 3, and A Tale of Sins is similar, but it's a little bit more ironed out than Virtues, but it's still pretty vague. Yeah. I did actually start thinking about this one a little more, because I was considering writing it for 50k no, so, but that didn't work out because, yeah, I think for 50k no, I did Keiko Kuromiya, the second book, and then I finished the first book, because the first book wasn't even finished at that point, and then I went to Blinding Light. And here's just a number of some of the beautiful, beautiful fan art that people have made for me. So I would just like to shout out some of these people that have made the fan art. This is Mimi Who Knows. They're in a lot of places. I follow them on Instagram, and that is kind of their most active social media, if you don't count Discord. I don't think Discord counts. This is my friend Daz died on Discord, Idrusain. Oh, also, this is Lady Midnight. Not really in the main Kingdoms books, but she will be a very significant character in Dia and Lily. This is also Mimi Who Knows. When I finish Katharina's official redesign, Mimi made this art of Katharina, and it's so pretty. But also it showed me a way to actually make her wing ears look good, because I can never fucking figure out those things. This is Demon Kitty on Discord. I don't remember what this was for, but I feel like they drew this for me for something, or maybe it was just for fun. I don't remember, but it's cute. It's Arya and Satan. Although these designs of them are already outdated. That's how long it's been. And this is Spirit on Discord. They drew me little tiny Satan and Arya. They're going trick or treating together, everybody. This is Satan fan art by Smith the writer on Discord. Just a little sketchy, but it's a good sketchy. I like the little sketchy. This was commissioned actually by my friend Serial Sharky on Instagram. So it's I was in a Katharina and Takahiro phase at that point in time, obviously. Yeah, I'm so weird. I have like phases for my OCs. Like sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I'm done with thinking about these guys. I'm gonna think about these guys instead. Oh, sorry. This is also Demon Kitty on Discord. This was Sears for Art Fight. I should revisit Sears. Sears would be fun to write about for Tales of Izuma. And this was for the event because the expectation after this thing was that we would play games. And I think we did kind of do that. It wasn't Jackbox, but like we did still have fun. Anyways, thank you for listening to this Status of Kingdoms. If you don't know what Kingdoms is, I do have a video where I introduce my stories and my OCs, I think. Did I introduce my... Oh, no. It was just an introduction to all my stories. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I don't have anything else to say. So that is all for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye!